Good morning. My fellow scopers, I just wanted to say good morning from Portland, from sunny Portland, which is kind of weird to say because usually it's overcast and cloudy, but we're moving into some warmer weather and some opportunities to get outside. And so you can see behind me one of my rhodies is blooming. They usually bloom around April. And welcome to my broadcast this morning. This week I'm going to be featuring several scopes on upcycling tips and ways to reuse things, or sharing tips that I use in my home and in my routines. And so today I have several different bottles that I want to show you. One of which, since developing my own gluten sensitive allergies or sensitivities, and then allergies to other foods, I typically carry a lot of foods with me when I go out for the day. And one of the things I happen to like an organic vanilla extract, and I always save the bottles and wash off labels. And I'd just like to show you my tray here. I have these two right here, and this one has had the labels taken off, and it's a 4-ounce jar, which is really nice to carry things like a salad dressing. Or the other night some friends and I went to a Japanese restaurant, and even though they had tamari sauce available, some places might not. And so otherwise I wouldn't have been able to use anything to dip my sushi in or flavor my soup with. So that was nice. Then the other one that I like is this size bottle. This one is a 16-ounce bottle, and what I do is I just use my trusty little funnel so that I don't make a big mess in the kitchen when I am filling up those for the day. The other thing is this is a 16-ounce jar, and I wanted to point out a couple of differences between these types of jars here, because this type of jar is heat sealed, so you don't get an airtight seal on these, where you will get a better seal on this type of jar. So let's turn the camera around. All right. Some of the things that I wanted to make sure you knew about today was Earth Day, April 22nd, and I see that is backwards. I'm not sure how to fix that, but I will work that out. I want you to be able to read some things as I suggest them to you. And the other thing that I wanted to say is, if I'm broadcasting out here in my backyard, sometimes my neighborhood gets quite noisy. So just a heads up. So basically, one of the things that I have been doing is following several people on Facebook and just learning awesome things to apply in my own life. Be More with Less is a company or a website by Courtney Carver, and it's BeMoreWithLess.com. And she is a pretty awesome person. I've learned a lot from just reading some of her blog posts and Facebook posts. Kathy Peterman is also another excellent resource that I've used. She's also a minimalist, and you don't have to become a minimalist overnight. These things take a little bit of time to discover what works for you and what works for your family. But the idea that I'd like to leave you with today is, instead of trying to just think about recycling, the trend is more towards reducing what you consume so that then there is less to recycle. So when you're making purchases or thinking about making purchases, when it comes to food, for example, I will take, say, a jar like this, and I have my digital scale at home, so I weigh the jar and then take a Sharpie marker, and just on the bottom of the jar I'll mark the tare weight, because then they will take that off at the register for me, so that when I come home I don't have to repackage my foods. Like, say, for example, if I buy foods from the bulk section, I don't have to repackage my foods into other containers, which is a nice time-saving step if you can just figure out the tare weight. And the stores, if you don't have a digital scale at home, no worries, just take your jars to the store. Usually they have wax pencils that you can write on your containers with, so that's no problem. And so these smaller jars like this, these are nice to take, like maybe an individual serving of something for a lunchbox, or my cooler that I might take with me in the trunk of my car. Not for airtight or for liquids, but say if I have like a granola mix or a trail mix, with this type of jar with a not so completely closed top will work. And the other thing I wanted to show you is this little scraper tool. It's maybe 4 inches by 4 inches, and it sure does save your fingernails if you are trying to get labels off. But I do recommend that you soak and then use something like this or another type of scraper to get those labels off. And then I usually use a Sharpie marker, or many times, because I want to keep track of the ingredients for things that I'm making, I will keep or cut the label out and then just use packaging tape to tape it directly to the jar, and that keeps things neatly organized and labeled, which is something I really like. So this whole week, as I said, I will be doing broadcasts on things that I use in my home, my habits, and I'm not perfect, but I really feel like since I have changed a lot of my lifestyle habits, I'm creating less that goes into the landfill, and hopefully, that's the way other people find their experience too. They begin to search for better ways to do things, and so I like sharing those tips and tricks in my cooking classes and in my food demos. And so hopefully you'll be able to take some of these tips. In fact, that's one of the things that I get most often when people are responding on my evaluation forms. They say, "Thank you so much for the tips and tricks. We really appreciate that." Being a plant-based eater myself, I constantly look for ways to simplify my food prep, food storage, food selection, so that I can have more time to do other things. So I appreciate you watching today, and hopefully this week you'll pick up some new tips and tricks that you can incorporate into your life. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. I am going to try to broadcast around 10 a.m. and so that might be the best laid plans. If the dogs are barking, or like this morning, my next door neighbor was running his leaf blower and weed eater, so it's just so beautiful outside. I'd like to share this with you. And so I hope you have a good rest of your day and enjoy the sunshine if you're in Portland, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.